Well, the Raiders came crashing back down to earth again. As I predicted, as I saw, and even saw last week. I mean, for most of that game versus the Ravens, do not even have a starting quarterback. They have a running back. He is not a quarterback. For most of the game, the Raiders couldn't do anything because they did exactly what they did in this game. Only in this game, they did it longer. In the second half, to break in the second half, they did the same nonsense. Let's just run the ball down their throat, rock. As if that's going to work. You have a quarterback that is not respected. He threw a bomb today. For some reason, the announcer thought that was a great pass. He actually underthrew him. He should have waltzed into the end zone, really, like real quarterbacks do. You know, set up their receivers. Instead, just like him, Tucker, all the other wide receivers were constantly being thrown medicine balls, hospital balls. What do you want to call them? These balls that just float, that put them in a very bad situation. And it gets complex. I mean, it's the offensive coordinator as well, Luke Getsy. As people have been pointing out, he was not the Raiders' first selection. He might not have even been the third selection. That's pretty bad when you have a subpar coaching staff. Now, I know they do have a couple of coaches, at least one, that has had coaching experience, and he should be thinking about that. Pierce, man, and he's standing right next to a guy that is mentoring him that could be looking for his job. Many a friendship is ended in such a way. And I'm not saying that guy's qualified either, really. I mean, there's so many problems that you can't just subtract one piece and hope that everything's gonna go well. It's like last year, I call it the honeymoon period, where Josh was so bad. Just, I mean, he has historical competition in how Mike Shanahan was with the Raiders. Mike White, I think that's his name, and there's the other ones. Maybe Norv Turner too. I mean, there's some others, but where they just didn't work with the whole Raider thing, the organization, and that's part of the problem too. There is a culture problem in the building, and it starts with the bowl top at the top of the chain. And as one channel was saying that, some owners want to win and others just want to make money. And Forbes a couple weeks ago released their top, richest sports franchises. And believe it or not, the oh so poor Raiders from the Back Bay, or whatever you want to call it, are now I don't know if they were, I think they were sixth richest NFL team. That's pretty significant considering. And they got a sweetheart deal with tourists who always go to Las Vegas because of a vice. Not advice, vice. A gambling addiction, a mental illness. And with all the emergence of what do you call it? Fantasy gambling, And yeah, He's got quite a sweetheart deal. He doesn't even care. He doesn't even have to have the Raiders win. He saw them win before, all during his youth. He was there when the Raiders had the best teams they had. And he's already seen it before. He's done it. Younger fans, too bad. You missed it. But Antonio Brown has no accountability. He said at the presser that there were no positives in the game, and that he blamed some of the players for making business decisions, as in taking liberties to stop trying. I don't know who exactly he was talking about. If I had a guess, I would start to think, without seeing tape or something like that, I would have to start to think that it was, some of the more undisciplined players. I think Max Crosby has an injury, and it's pretty obvious that he is the defense of the Raiders. There is no one else on the Raiders even close to his level. But he's been used and abused. Maybe too much to his detriment. And that started last year. And usually one injury compensates to another, it reverberates to another part of the body. And who knows what's going on. He's not going to stop until someone takes him out of the game. I don't think he was giving up, because he's the barometer reading. He's the one you test everyone else against, because no one is like him. He is Charlie Hustle on the Raiders. He is Pete Rose on the Raiders. Maybe I don't know. He could have been talking about Jack Jones. Maybe Jack Jones is, he's prone to those type of things. But it could have been like on one of the big plays when it was like 3rd and 20 or something. They just all piled in the middle. 3 DBs. It was probably not that. I think it was when they were just getting gashed. They were just not even trying on the line. And basically they were going to say the coaching is going to make a decision. A coaching business decision. Well, to me that is continuing to kick the can down the road. Because what was it after the game? Last game. Not this game. Last game. What he said about what the Raiders needed to do in the next game. They needed to do the exact same thing they tried to do in the beginning of the first game, or the second game, or whatever. Which is try to nonsensically run the ball against a defense that does not respect the quarterback. This has happened when the Raiders had Derek Carr. And he has arguably one of the strongest arms the Raiders have ever had at quarterback. Outside of, Jamarcus Russell was exceptional. Jay Schrader. There's other ones, but Derek Carr has got a very healthy arm. And when the play calling wasn't designed to stretch the field. And that sort of started changing around the time Gruden came. Gruden's like, no, you're going to do this and this. They had this little rivalry sometimes on the sideline. They would, have this healthy arguments. Of course, who knows, to go off topic a bit, New Orleans is, they're just as sensitive as Raider fans, so they might be thinking, put in Rattler or whatever his name is. Get rid of Carr. He looks like Mahomes. Go with it. Trade Carr. If they come out and say that, trade, give whatever they want. Bring them back home. And bring Gruden back home. as some of the people in comment sections around the internet were saying they make Gruden the offensive coordinator. That would be funny. But I don't think they're going to be able to do that or could do that because I think NFL is basically told Mark Davis, and not to be discluded, Carroll Davis. I don't know when it happened, but it happened, I think, over the last year, no more than 2, I think. That it used to be always Mark Davis, owner of the Raiders. No. He's co-owner of the Raiders. Carol Davis is ownership. She has ownership. I know she's an old lady. I know she's not making business decisions. Maybe she should. I don't know if she could. But I don't know what kind she would make. That could be Nancy Pelosi-like. Nonsensical. Joe Biden-like. Dementia-ridden. I don't know. But she is... I think she's, put her foot down and said, no, I'm the owner too. But it starts up at the top. And I think the NFL has said, you can't bring Gruden back. And just an advisor, anything. They don't want him connected with the Raiders. It would create like a huge thing or whatever problem. I don't know if he would take a sub role on a team where he was a head coach for so many years to come. Well, many do arguably, but him, being a little more famous than most of the others that get coach, offensive coordinator positions and stuff like that. But who knows? I think he's itching to get back in the NFL with his show that is fairly new. I think that is an audition. That's like someone making TikTok videos and YouTube videos, because I'm talking the ones that make like dramatic videos or something. Because it's like the casting couch. It used to. Jerry Springer is dead, so these out of work actors and actresses they use the internet. They use TikTok and TikTok, I think especially, and then followed by YouTube to do usually nonsensical videos, just trying to catch someone's eye out there to put them in a movie, maybe a snuff movie, but there's definitely casting. I don't know if Gruden would just eke his way in that way. I don't know. But I do not think Gruden was as bad of a coach as Pace is. Some of the calls Pace is making right now is unbelievable. And going back to the play calling, you have to go back to that. I keep on getting sidetracked. But the play calling, he did the same thing in the last game, in this game, and threatened to do it before this game, and just extended it longer. The Raiders cannot run the ball if they have a quarterback who can't chuck the ball. I know people think, they look at the stats, and they were even saying that the Raiders, Minshew leads the league in deep balls, the number of deep balls. Yeah, it's you know what it's looking like? It's looking like the 1980s, early 90s. Do you remember that time period? Remember the time period? I'm talking about like 84 and even 85. There was stuff like that going on, going back to the 60s, 70s with the Raiders. But I'm talking about specifically when the Raiders had like prima donnas, like Devontae Drop-a-Ball Adams. He spends more time on talk shows than he should with the football, the ball gun, or whatever you want to call it, the ball cannon. I don't know what you call it, really. He needs to he needs to work on a little bit of the concentration, but he's a prima donna. He's better than Willie Gault, but Willie Gault was basically posing all the time, and you know, I swear he did commercials for like what was that? Not Grecian Formula #5. I don't know, some sort of a gel. Jerry curls, like Rick James and who's the other one? He's basically doing that sort of crap. And he would just run down the field and drop the ball. He couldn't catch anything. And they had plenty of guys on the Raiders back then who did the same thing. And they kept on like collecting the fastest wide receivers they could find. Rocket Ishmael, Alexander Wright, Swervin Mervin Fernandez. These guys all sucked. James Jett used to get yelled at a lot because he never went back to help Gannon out, or any other quarterback he played with. But they wanted to sit there and do the same thing twice, and that is what he did, and he did not take accountability for that. He's blaming the performance. That's beating your head against a wall. To me, it's been going on for a while. If the defense thinks that the quarterback does not function well under pressure, they're going to give him pressure until he can show them that he can beat them under pressure. I'm talking about like take it on the chin and deliver a strike. And they'll remember that. And then maybe you can start running the ball. Now Pierce was asked, would you consider a pass first type of offense? Most offenses kind of are that are successful. Don't just come out there all predictability type, and just run the ball like the Raiders have been doing the last 2 games. You lose a lot of games doing that. The Raiders legitimately, on some of the drives, the few drives that they had, were running it on first and second down and getting nothing, basically. And then trying to, even running on third down. Third down like 7. It's only going to get worse. They could correct it. I mean, you're going through your list. Who should we plan the game around? Okay, let's see. Zamir White. Yeah, we gotta just plan it all around him. He's got this history of just this awesome history. When did he start running run the ball last year? Was it at the end of the year when everyone was getting tired? Is that what was it about? Because he didn't have much history before that. And so you got people like Brock Bowers, who all week long was called Gronk 2, generational talent. You don't even build an offense around him. You have Devontae Adams, and you don't throw it to him right away. You have Jacoby Myers. And you wait till the very end to start throwing it to him. He's actually very good. He's being tremendously underappreciated right now. What does it matter that you would hand the ball off when they're passing? They're oftentimes just passing these bubble screen type things or, quick outs or whatever. It's basically a run. So what does it matter? Why are you running up the middle when you have a running back who he can't tell the difference between a door and a wall? He's not that fast. He's blind. So what's the point? Or his backup, Madison. He was doing the in Madison, whatever his name is. He was doing the same thing. So why don't you come out on first down and throw it? And throw it again. It's a passing league. I don't care what the rest of the league has been doing. I don't care if they're saying you can't do that. Those are your options. I think Raider fans are in for a long, miserable trip. Because every once in a while they're going to beat someone. They could beat the Chiefs. And then you're going to be thinking, oh, great again. No. Because then they will think they can start, doing this ground and pound type of offense. They're not set up for it. The play calling is atrocious, but like I said, Pierce is blaming the play calling. He didn't call the plays. The quarterback didn't call the plays. Luke Getsy called the plays. He's just blaming him. When he is the one who said they're going to run. They're going to make it a focus. You see, this is how you lose the entire team. Younger Raider fans will not remember this. They will not remember how, especially Archel 2.0, how the team just turned on him and basically were telling him to go F off Uncle Ben. That's how they treated him. But it wasn't because of those reasons of what Pierce is doing right now. He was an Al Davis pick or whatever. Al Davis picks his whole staff and all that kind of crap. It's hard to get respect if you're not in charge totally. Everyone knows that. Everyone knew that the real boss was upstairs, and that's a lot of the problem. And also, you're playing in different eras, and Archel is not. He wasn't a great offensive mind or something like that. He was basically what Pierce is right now. The first time he came in, it was basically McDaniels got fired. It was Shanahan. After 5 games, he got fired, and then Archel came in, and the Raiders won some games. But there was a honeymoon period. I mean, it's the same type of thing. It does not have lasting power when you can't talk in specifics like Antonio Pierce can't do. He's just saying this and that, these little sticky points, and he's going to lose the team. He's losing it right now. I think I thought he lost the team in the first game, because they were talking like they were going to the Super Bowl, and he allowed them to talk like that. And when you do that, and you don't, and you're not the one actually doing anything, when you allow that, and it doesn't happen, the team will fold. I'm telling you, this team, they folded in this game. And they folded before. They folded in the Chargers game. They beat I think a bad, overrated Ravens team with a bad quarterback who could have ran to the end zone. He could have easily ran, I think. I mean, the guy he is without a doubt the most elusive player in football when he's on the run. He can't throw for shit. He's just an awful thrower. Accuracy and all that type of stuff. But Pierce is not owning up to his responsibility as head coach. When the team collapses, it is the head coach's fault. Yes, I know the players did not play well, but he didn't prepare them. They were allowed to think like this was going to be an easy cakewalk. There's no such thing. I was walking home. I was on my walk right before the game, about an hour before. And I just had this, vision in my head again of the last time the Raiders played the backup, which was an Irishman. And that time was Fitzpatrick is his name. I was going to say Fitzgerald. Fitzpatrick? Ryan Fitzpatrick? That's his name, right? Yeah, him. Never underestimate an Irishman, and that's what happened in this game, too. And he did some good things. He played better than the Raider quarterbacks. But it all boils down to Antonio Pierce. He's not taking responsibility for what's going on here because he told his offensive coordinator to run the ball. That is what he told him, and that is what he did. Maybe at some point in time he told him to change things, but it was too late. He's got to own that, or he's going to lose the team. He's going to lose his own coaching staff. His coaching staff's going to turn on him. Players are going to get hurt, too. That's the other thing that happens when a team is dysfunctional. All of a sudden, they're in bad situations a lot, where they're having to force the issue, and they're not staying healthy. Right now, Max Crosby's injured. He is the Raiders' defense. I'll say that over and over. He channels his inner Hendricks and Davison. He is Hendricks and Davison's love child, Max Crosby. He's just like them. He's really like them. But he's a lone wolf on the team. There's no one quite like him. And man, they can't stop the run for anything. But we'll see what happens. I think they're going to do some probably drastic changes that are actually going to hurt the team. We'll find out who it is, who he's talking about, who are making business decisions. I'm going to think it was someone. I don't know if it was linebacker. I mean, Robert Spillane was getting beat up pretty good today. And I don't think the other two linebackers that were in the game were the ones he's talking about. It has to be someone on the defensive line. I don't know. It was someone on the defense. Unless you think it was offense, like someone was just letting, not trying, not running routes. This happened last year. Remember, they got rid of a cornerback. What's his name? Forget his name now. He might have been the best quarterback on the Raiders, though. I know some fans will argue otherwise, but it all comes down to coaching. These players are so temperamental, and they have to be kept in this little safe space of motivation and confidence, and it could get really bad. You think last year was bad? Last year was pretty nightmarish with in the year before, rather. The year before especially. But you think it's bad now? It could get worse. It's been worse in the past, where the Raiders were soft. And I think it's going to happen again. Antonio Pierce needs to own it.